What's up, guys? Julian here today. I'm going to be showing you how to make modern electro, Ghettotech, techno, that style of stuff. As usual, you can get the full project files, samples, MIDI, presets, everything like that from this video is available right at the top of the description on my website. Definitely go grab that. It's just $5 and you get this really solid template. Plus, it really helps support me. So, you can get one of the best electro templates on the market at a very affordable price. Plus, if I've helped you at all, this really helps support me. Like I said, I don't make a whole lot off of these videos, but with these sample packs and templates, I'm able to keep bringing you guys new videos every single day. So thank you so much for the support, guys. Every little bit helps. Link is at the top of the description. And let's dive in. So, the first thing we have up here would be the synths. Now, the reason why I'm showing you all three of these at the same time is, as you can hear, it's three different sounds, but they all come together to kind of make this one sequence. And we're doing this using the principle of call and response. Basically, the call is this wavetable right here in the middle, just this. Right, that's the call, and then the response would be these two. Right, you get like that. No. And this is important because, you know, I could talk all day about what notes I use and how to make a synth sound, but that stuff really is only for serving the purpose of using that knowledge to create these, like, sequences where everything's fitting together like this. So that's what you want to keep in mind. Now, for the first synth, here are the notes. So it's actually only two notes, just across different octaves. It's just F sharp and G, as you can see. And that's actually the only two notes used across this entire project file. But it's like this kind of like, it's more about the rhythm, right? Like, you want to think of the different notes here as like different percussion hits. Now, for the actual sound on this one, it's made using wavetable. You can see we've got a saw wave and then another saw wave. The second saw wave, though, you can see is actually 7 semitones, so a fifth up from the first one, and it's also detuned a little bit. We have a low pass filter which has an envelope on it, and yeah. You can also see we've got a bunch of unison here. It's on the noise setting. I've got a bit of echo. This amp here, which is not all the way on. You can see it's being blended on there, so here's without it. And then with it, just a subtle way to add some flavor to the sound. We have a high pass filter. And yeah, and then the next sound is the 303. So again, those same two notes, just F sharp and G. And also, the other thing with this one is, like I said, this ARP is the call, and then the 303 is the response. So since that ARP is so busy, having this little 303, don't know, like really simple, it's going to work really well as the response to the call being so busy. So then for the sound, this one's made with operator. It's a square wave with a little bit of a saw wave in there as well. And then we have a bandpass filter with an envelope on it. And then you can see, yeah, we're automating that, so that's how you get all those different movements. Then I just have this amp on here. You can see it's on the boost setting and it's being boosted pretty heavy. That really helps to give it that crunchy 303 sound, though. If I turn it off, see, it's just kind of like a saw wave with a bandpass, but the distortion is what really makes it like a 303. So then we have two echoes. Why do we have two echoes? One is for stereo width. You can see it's this very, very fast echo on the ping pong setting. So that just spreads it out a little bit. And then the second one here is more spaced out. It's that eighth notes. So that's the one you actually hear echoing. We have a very short reverb, a high pass filter, and then you can ignore this utility. And then the last synth here is this second ARP. So again, we're only using F sharp and G. Like I said, it's just two notes, but across different octaves. And this sound is made with operators. So what it is you can see it's this FM happening across 3 different sound waves here. And it's actually a very simple sound. You You can see the second one, it's really just the second one being up an octave and detuned a little bit. But then what we're doing here is you can see I have a low pass filter with a little envelope on it, and I have the hard shaper. So if I turn that off, and then back on again, you can hear that's what's creating a lot of the texture on the sound. I have a bit of echo, doing eighth notes. This flanger here, which kind of gives it that like metallic texture. If I turn that off, see it's a lot more just flat. That really brings it to life. And then we just have a high pass filter cutting out the lows. So that is it for the synths. Then we have the vocals. So again, it's just this like, I've shown you guys this technique before. It's like a hip hop vocal, and then you put it through this very fast echo, and that's what gives it that kind of texture like you want. And it's important to give it a little break too. Like, make sure you have, like, the way this is where the vocal plays, and then you get like these 2 bars of nothing, and then vocal plays, and then 2 bars. Because if you have all these synths and the vocals just constantly going, it's gonna be too much. So you want to just give it that little bit of space. Then we have the bass line. So this is made with 2 layers. We have an 808, and then also this operator layer. So I'll show you the notes first. So it's just 2 notes. Like I said with the other synths, it's just F sharp and G. You can hear the rhythm here is really playing off of the kick. Like, it's playing at the same time as the kick sometimes, but then it also adds a few notes. And I think it's important to hear that because there's a lot of groove being created between these 2 elements, right? Like the way the kick and this bass are playing off of each other, that's really like a lot of the groove that you're hearing actually, even if you don't realize it right away. So the reason why we're using 2 different layers here is the 808 is really like the main bass. But then as you can hear when we bring in this operator layer, it adds like a nice detune and kind of like some body to it. Like it fills it out and makes it feel like an actual like it's got some mid-range and some low mids. And also you can kind of hear these 2 detuning off of each other. Right, you can hear that like right at the start of the note, and that is like also adding a lot to this bass line. So the 808 is just going through a little tiny bit of amp here. You can see it's only on like 2%. You can barely hear it, but it's just adding a little bit of fatness to that. And then this operator patch, so what it is, it's a square wave with a little bit of FM from a sine wave. And then you can see I have this detuned a little bit, so that's how you're getting that like respace effect. And then we have a low pass filter with a little bit of an envelope, so it's getting that. And also the hard shaper, even if it's on 0, it still actually adds a lot of fatness to it. Then we have this amp, so actually same thing as the last one, just blended in there a little tiny bit. And then a high pass filter, because you actually don't want the low end in this, you want the low mid range. And yeah, that's the bass line. So then we have the drums. So with the drums, I'll talk to you kind of like with the order. So with starting this, you always want to start with the kick and the snare. So here it's just an 808 kick and an 808 snare, right? Like straight from the drum machine. Then you can move up and we have an 808 hi-hat as well. You can see that's just the regular hi-hat, but I've got a flanger on that. which gives it some really nice movement. So this is the really basic beat, and you're gonna start with this. Just get this sounding as good as possible. Once I had that, then I went and added these 3 layers. This clap, this drum machine snare, and this rim shot. So you can hear these are a bit more atmospheric, and they don't play as frequently either. You get a little bit of call and response actually between this drum machine snare and the clap. Right, but it just plays on some of the hits with the snare, and then over here, you don't get the clap, then you get that little rim shot with a little bit of reverb. So again, this just adds some atmosphere to the beat, but you can't do these until you have that kick and that snare and that hi-hat, like the main groove sounding good, then you bring these in. From there I went and I added actually some synth percussion, which starts with this analog layer. So this is subtle, but what it is it's some white noise and a sine wave as well. And you can see on the sine wave I have a pitch envelope, and then I'm using this random note over here. So it's all these little hits, but it's playing all different notes all across the keyboard. So you can hear it's creating these like random different little zaps. And then I also have a bandpass filter on there, which is key tracked. So since this is going all across the keyboard and playing different notes, that key tracking, you're getting the filter in a different place every time. And it's nice, like, cause some of them you don't even hear it, but it's like just so like constantly changing that it adds a lot of life to the beat. The amp envelope like that, a little bit of unison, a little bit of flanger, and then a high pass filter. It's a very simple layer to make, but it adds a lot. We also have some other synth percussion like this. This little zap, which is made with a sine wave. Well, actually 4 sine waves here. 3 sine waves and a little bit of white noise. You can see all the different octaves. And then just that pitch envelope to give it that pew. A little bit of sine shaper, some echo, drum bus, high pass filter. And then finally this little noise percussion down here, which you can hear just gives like some 8th notes. Like that. And so that's made with white noise. I have a little bit of automation on the filter. Just opening that, we have a bit of echo, some amps, some drum bus to make it feel a little bit more like an actual percussion hit. And yeah, that is it for the drums. So that's gonna be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get this full project file, samples, MIDI, preset. Literally everything from this video is available right at the top of the description. It's a super solid template. Do not sleep. I'm telling you guys, don't miss this one because you can really build some high quality tracks off of this. I put a lot of time into studying these very niche tracks, so now you can benefit from all that. Really, don't sleep, guys. Go grab this. It's one of the best templates for this style on the market. And yeah, thank you so much for all the support, guys. Every sale helps, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video.